mean, and I think, the plug isn't like necessarily germane to Atlanta.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah.
But just in general, right? Like everybody knows the plug, the connect, somebody that can put you in connection with something
that you are seeking.
Right, that the average person or a particular person can only get.
Right.
And, it may sound silly to people listening to this, but this is the job of an attorney. The job of an attorney is, I know opposing counsel, they're a straight arrow. They're conservative, and there are some nuanced elements that require you to have a level of synchronicity with the common person that
absolutely
you just being straight by the book, you're not going to understand. And if I can relate, Kevin Gates, right? If I can talk about how two phones, one for the plug, one for the load,
right,
relates to someone misinterpreting a text message that says one for the plug, one for the load, or what have you, I could say, oh no, they're referring to a song.
Right.
Or there's a movie that talks about I'm the plug. There's songs that I'm the plug, what have you, right? So that is so universally common to use lyrics to explain your everyday life that understanding could literally be the difference between your client, being behind bars and walking away and having a glass of champagne talking about, wow, I'm glad my lawyers understood. And so if we bring it back to Brian Steele, it's like he understood that.
Yeah.
I think they played some Young Thug's song in the beginning of the trial or something like that.
Yes, the rap lyrics. Yes, and same case that I was just talking about with the plug. That's literally some of the research and back work that my associate, my colleague, and I are working on right now. Because what does it mean when somebody puts out to the world on YouTube a performance that has certain lyrics in it? Are those real life? Are they artistic expression? And so I think that they're the flashy moments from the Young Thug trial, but there is so much evidentiary juiciness and evolution there, because you have to remember too, for so long, the law is always the last thing to catch up, right? The law is always the last thing to catch up, and like famously, you hear the story of the Supreme Court clerks explaining everything that's in your cell phone to the justices, right? Explaining to Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Scalia, no, like my social security number is in here, my like location data is in here, like how to use GPS location, that kind of thing. So your papers are all in there. Your every move is in there, right? And that's one of, I forget the name of the case, but it's one of the famous Fourth Amendment cases that, protects that information initially from search. And had people not spoken up when those who are making the decisions ultimately may not have been as close to the practicality of the question, is why it's so important to be thinking about, okay, here's my paragraph. What does that mean? How does this apply to me? What does that mean in my everyday life? Like, we don't even consider paper anymore. It's all on our phone.
And Mary, you're so well versed in, understanding things. And, I will also say that I think your heritage, your nationality, your orientation, someone may say this is a Caucasian female. What does she know about Young Thug, T.I.?
Yeah.
And the fact that not only can you make reference to it, you actually know songs. So now, if you see someone that may have had a bias or an implicit bias or unconscious bias, one might say, you totally won that one person in the jury. Now,